You are on India Today podcasts and you are in the sledging room. All right then. U-turns and aggression and spirit of the game and laws of cricket. It's been so much of all of that over the last few days. I mean, not even the past week, by the way. You know, we come with the sledging room every week, trying to dissect the goings on in cricket, but sometimes you lose track. As we have now, with so many U-turns around the laws of the game, so many U-turns around spirit of cricket, that you're flummoxed. So why am I starting with laws and spirits? Is because of the Ashes. It's almost sounding gothic now. Laws and spirits, spirit and Ashes. Here's what happened for the uninitiated. I mean, unless you've been living under a rock the last few days, you will realize what has happened at Lord's, the home of cricket, so to say. Well, Jonny Bairstow controversially run out by Alex Carey. Bairstow was casually strolling down the wicket after ducking a bouncer, and before he realized, his stumps were rattled by Australian wicketkeeper Alex Carey, and Bairstow was comically run out. And you would find a lot of these instances in cricket involving England and Australia.
Was he run out? Or
was he stumped?
Stumped.
Controversially
Stumped is the word.
Off Cameron Green.
I think he was stumped while looking at what was happening as well. So it was everybody was stumped, I guess. The whole England team and fans and Bairstow, everybody was stumped.
I mean, you would feel for Bairstow because he would have felt so heroic lifting that protester off the field and walking him off the ground, carrying him off the ground, and suddenly he finds himself in the middle of a controversy. I'm sure he would have gone back to the dressing room and felt a little embarrassed with what has happened. And Bairstow, it was comical, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
everything about that stumping or run out was comical. So here's what happened. Let's lay down the context. England obviously are trailing 0-2 in this 5-match Ashes. They lost the first test. They lost the second test. Bazball is being in the process of being tamed by Australia. On the final day, it was a riveting day of cricket, by the way. You have to give credit to Ben Stokes for another masterpiece.
Yeah.
His masterpieces come every 4 years. The last one was
Especially against Australia.
Yes.
Yes.
Ben Stokes, of course, he played a couple of superb innings in the World Cup, the ODI World Cup, in the World Cup final, then that Headingley Test match against Australia in that Ashes 2019, and they were chasing a competitive total, 370 odd. Ben Stokes made 155 before Bairstow's run a stumping. So what happened was he was trying to duck a bouncer. Would he have ducked that? He could have dispatched that anywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
In all of Lords.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the kind of form he is batting right now.
Bairstow, not in the best of form, but he's not,
Yeah, he's been good.
Not
He's
been
been
terribly out.
Yes.
Yeah, a batter like Bairstow, it felt like you said, it felt comical from the moment that he ducked that ball.
Yes.
That set the tone for the entire incident in my opinion.
Exactly.
Bairstow part of England Bazball.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing contradicted England's
yes.
ploy, tactics, and he managed to somehow duck that bouncer anyway. He ducked it, casually walked across to Ben Stokes to God knows say what, and Alex Carey
Stumped him out.
But sort of, couple of observations from either side. England obviously defending that. Australia can't believe there is such criticism. England have called Ben Stokes a crybaby. The British Prime Minister has responded to that, by the way. The British Prime Minister has also weighed in on this whole controversy. But here's the crux of it, Alan, Saurabh. Ashwin, for instance, says that was smart work by Alex Carey. There are former cricketers who believe that Bairstow might have been a repeat offender, trying to walk down the crease after every delivery. And he should have been inside the crease till the ball was dead, right?
Yep.
First off, let's look at, think back of the video footage.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't play the video footage on the sledging room because of serious broadcast rights, but he did tap his back foot and then he walked over. Before the spirit of cricket is invoked, within the laws of the game, Carey was absolutely right. I mean, you stay within your crease.
Exactly. For example, Carey hit the stumps and Bairstow was out. What if Carey missed the stumps and these two cross over for a couple? Would they have said, no, it's not in the spirit of cricket that we're taking a couple because Alex Carey missed the stumps? It was normal, right? Similarly, this was also normal. You walk out of the crease, the wicketkeeper stumps you out. Although it looked bizarre because the way he ducked the bouncer and then he just walked. I think he was.
No. I'll stop you. You continue from here. Then take this point. Had he done that to Joe Root, would he casually walk out of the stumps? For instance, you're not going to do that against a spinner, a part-time spinner. If you're facing Ashwin, if you missed it or if you let a ball go, would you just walk out of the crease?
I don't
With
think
the
so.
wicketkeeper standing up.
Never. We don't see this happening.
With a spinner, you would not see that happen.
Never.
Then why take the liberty with a pacer? Because the wicketkeeper is standing a few paces back.
I think that was what happened. Or was it brain fade moment for Jonny Bairstow?
No, but he's done this repeatedly.
Yes, he's a serial offender.
I think even when you look at all these things, a couple of the old former England captains, I think Andrew Strauss put it perfectly. He said Bairstow was a little dozy while stepping out of the crease.
Did he have the whole Lord's lunge? Because that's pretty.
That could be. I think probably got a hero. I think Georgetown called him a hero for stopping the protesters. So he might have got a hero's lunge before coming out to bat. But that is the whole thing. Like, why would you want to step out of the crease when the ball is not dead?
Yes.
The ball has to be dead. And that is according to the batter. I think Ashwin himself pointed it out right now. That Bairstow didn't even look back to see if the ball was dead. He was just like, oh, okay, fine. Next over. Let's go on. I need to talk to Stokes about tactics. And before that, he was stumped. So that is the end of the thing. I think here, if you are putting it, in my opinion, I am a fan of Bazball. Let me be very clear of it. I love the approach. I love the intensity. It has made the game great. But I have not been a fan of England, the antics that they bring.
The whining.
Because this is the second time I am here talking about an incident related to England cricket. The last time I was here, I was talking about the Deepti Sharma, Charlie Dean run-out.
Exactly. Yes.
And now it's back again, and it's again spirit of cricket.
That's why you want to bring out the hypocrisy in England cricket.
Absolutely.
The incident, by the way, that run-out also happened against England.
Yes.
Right? Then they had come out all guns blazing.
Yes. Yes.
To mention it figuratively. They had come out all guns blazing, criticizing Deepti.
Yes.
For what she did was perfectly within the laws of the
Yes,
game.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? Absolutely.
That has been taken away from spirit of cricket. It's a law. It's now you don't say mankading anymore. Now it's running. It's a non-strikers run.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So again, that was within the laws of the game.
Absolutely.
Now this is against spirit of cricket because it doesn't quite go with the. It doesn't suit your. It is not convenient for you. Akash Chopra in a tweet has called them out perfectly. He said that this kind of this is English cricket's hypocrisy and a sense of entitlement. Now, what is this? You criticize Deepti Sharma for a perfectly legitimate legal run out, right?
Yeah.
Because you lost that match. You criticize any so-called mankading efforts. Yet Stuart Broad, when he had edged to the slip quarter in the 2013 Ashes, did not walk.
Yeah.
He still defended his own stance before
the start of the Ashes.
We were talking about that earlier today.
Yes, and today he was saying that this was not great on the part of Australia. How can he make two different statements where one...
Are they hypocrites? Are England cricketers hypocrites?
See, if you're talking about hypocrisy, all white cricketers are hypocrites.
Ooh, okay.
Even the Australian cricketers.
Yeah.
What happened to Stark? Last time when they were playing against England, he was saying, he was caught on the mic saying to, I think, Jos Buttler, hey, I'm not Deepti, but I will run out you out. Why do you point out Deepti's name?
Why do you need
What did she do?
Yes.
She did a perfectly legal thing in cricket to dismiss a batter. Charlie Dean was dismissed. They made such a big controversy out of it. So both, if you talk about hypocrisy, English cricketers, Australian cricketers, they all are hypocrites.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll read out a Harsha Bhogle tweet meanwhile, all right, where he's mentioning a friend who's a professor in the United States. Now, a lot of people are wondering whether it's Harsha's own thoughts, but we really can't speak for Harsha Bhogle. But I'll tell you what he tweeted. He said, a childhood friend of mine, a professor in the US, has, I think, got it absolutely right on the Bairstow issue. I figured it out. I cracked the hypocrisy code. You have to invoke the laws of cricket when the decision is in your favor. You have to invoke the spirit of cricket when the decision is not in your favor. So for England to have made a hue and cry about Deepthi, for England to have now made such a massive hue and cry over the Bairstow stumping, they were perfectly okay when Stuart Broad did not walk despite edging it to the slip cordon in the 2013 Ashes. They were okay with that. Because then it's about, no, the umpires can take a call. It's the umpire's job to give you out. So will every England batter from now on assure that they will walk if they know they have edged it and the umpire hasn't read it and the opposition is out of a DRS option.
Yes.
Will they walk?
No, I don't think they will.
England they have had the history of taking advantage of such situations. I think, I don't remember the year. I think it was an ODI against New Zealand where Grant Elliott's run out that caused a lot of controversy. They ended up losing the match, but Paul Collingwood was given the decision to withdraw the appeal from the umpires because this man had collided with a player. He had fallen I think it was Ryan Sidebottom. He had fallen down on the pitch and still Collingwood called it for out. And it was a bilateral series.
And Grant Elliott, by the way, has also tweeted out a video of where Bairstow had walked out repeatedly. And he said, best video I've seen of the routine Bairstow has after leaving a delivery. He says, I know what I would have done as captain. Thoughts? I mean, Grant Elliott is perfectly within his...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if like Stokes has always been saying, if the shoe was on the other side, the things would have been different. People would have said the same. It's the same thing. Like
See, after the match got over, Ben Stokes comes out. He said, yes, it was legal. He was out. But as a captain, I will not take a wicket like that. What nonsense are you talking about, Ben Stokes?
Then I think he's not the perfect England captain, I suppose.
No,
because
I think Ben Stokes was the batter when England and New Zealand were playing that World Cup final at Lord's in 2019 World Cup when the ball hit his bat and went for boundary.
I think probably if you look back to the beginning of Bazball, that test against New Zealand, Henry Nicholls, the ball, Jack Leach's ball bouncing off Daryl Mitchell's bat and going to the fielder. I think that was pointed out by Akash Chopra himself.
Did Stokes?
that was off the non-strikers. It ricocheted off the non-strikers' bat. And they were quite happy to claim that wicket.
Yes.
If you are so vigorously supporting spirit of cricket, then you should have withdrawn that wicket too.
Yes.
And by the way, the England coach, who is a former New Zealand captain, wicketkeeper of huge repute, Brendan McCullum, he had also done something similar against Zimbabwe.
2007.
By the way, now since we're talking of this whole hypocrisy angle, we'll also come to Australia because they have also tried to weigh in on several issues around Mankaded against non-striker runouts, this and that, where Ricky Ponting, by the way, had claimed that catch that wasn't many years back. But what did Travis Head say? But before that, we'll talk of a couple of visuals that were viral on social media. Jonny Bairstow himself tried to do that with Manas Labuschagne.
Yes,
He missed it.
Yes.
He was way off the mark, by the way. And Travis said, this is what he had to say. He said, I asked Jonny Bairstow. Bairstow, he said he tried to do the same thing to Travis Head. And Travis Head had asked Bairstow, would he have done it? And Bairstow said, bloody oath, I would have. That's exactly what Travis Head is telling us. He said that in an interview to some podcast somewhere. But that's hypocrisy right there, if that is true. Again, obviously,
obviously,
what Travis Head has said.
We are hearing what Travis Head is saying.
Assuming he is not lying.
Exactly.
So, what more do you need to lay out? The fact that, look, move on.
And did you read what Geoffrey Boycott said?
Yes.
He is asking the Australians to come out and apologize. For what?
Why?
For what?
What did they do?
Exactly.
They played better cricket. They won the test match.
If anything, England should come out and apologize for their shoddy performance till now. The bowlers have been bad. The approach in terms of batting has been probably okay, great. And Stokes has stood up.
I want to ask both of you a question. Did England invoke this controversy just to divert the attention from their performance?
Yes. Yes, they're whining
I
and
would
crying
say
and trying to hide behind
the whining
this whole
has,
facade.
the whining
Yeah.
has to stop, and they should just focus on cricket. I think
Every time they lose, they come out and say, "We will follow this Bazball. We will come out with a
which
more
is
attacking
good.
approach."
See,
but
your
you don't
approach
come out.
has
You
to-
don't win test match.
Yeah, don't try to hide behind this controversy, as you rightfully put it, because they are just trying to do that. Their ex-England captains have all criticized the approach. They've all criticized
I was reading.
Bairstow.
I was reading Mark Butcher's comment. Butcher said, "I cannot understand why is this a controversy.
Yes.
It's as simple as that."
Probably the only English voice who's
Yeah.
kind of talking
A
sense
batter
right
comes out, he's out of the crease, the wicketkeeper sums him out. Why are you making a controversy out of it?
You
There's
know,
nothing of that sort.
A lot of I've seen a lot of references to the Ian Bell run out
Yes.
in
Yes.
2011 when Dhoni called him back, and India went on to lose the Test match. And before I still remember what happened, right, 12 years back, and even before he was called back. I think it was lunch or was it tea? There was a lot of booing from the crowd
Yes.
until Ian Bell was called back. I thought that was ridiculous. Again, he was perfectly legally run out. He hit a ball which went towards the fence. I think one of the pacers, I don't remember who that was.
I think it was Sahir Khan, I guess. I am
I
guessing
don't
it.
remember. I
I
don't
don't
remember.
remember, so I won't
But
comment.
they threw the ball back to Dhoni, and it was a run out. It was fair and square.
Yeah.
But no, they had to call him back because I think there was a mid-pitch collision. And now you're making a hue and cry for Bairstow. Why did he not stay inside the crease till
Yeah.
the ball was dead?
Yes, absolutely. That is the.
Are they arguing against the laws of the game? No. They want the spirit of cricket to be. I mean, and Stuart Broad says, we just win a test match. Obviously, that's what you're there for. You're there
Yes.
to win a test match by any means. Obviously, as long as the legal means as long as
When
the laws
Stuart
of the
Broad is
game.
saying is, I remember after that test match in 2013, when Stuart Broad edged the ball and did not walk, when he came out for the press conference, he was asked by the reporter and he said, "Nobody is going to remember what I did. People are going to remember that we won a test match."
Exactly.
Exactly. If that is the approach, then stick with
Now
the
why,
approach.
10 years later,
He has changed he has changed his approach, I guess. Probably that is the Nighthawk system that has been installed in him.
I'm
probably.
still trying to wrap my head around the whole Jonny Bairstow controversy. Why is it a controversy? If it is going to be controversial, you should slam Jonny Bairstow
Yes.
for being so shoddy.
Yes.
Right? He should be getting a proper
Dressing room.
howling from the dressing room.
Yes.
From McCallum, from Stokes. He said, watch what you're doing.
yes,
You are an England test cricketer.
Yes.
You can't be so casual. You can't be so dozy, as somebody used the word to describe Bairstow's action. And by the way, like we said at the head of the show, it wasn't the first time,
no.
No.
right? They had obviously noticed patterns.
Yes.
To top it all up, Bairstow himself tried to do it. According to Travis Head, Bairstow said he would do it if he got the chance, the opportunity, probably also the skill set. Couldn't happen, right? Now coming to the Australians, by the way, look at what the Australians have done. They have also been critical of Mankaded in a way. Some of them have backed it, said, you know what, it's okay, it's a way of dismissal. But now they have also resorted to something like this.
Yes.
Where does this end? Will we move on from here and see some focus moving back to the top quality cricket that Australia has played? You can't take that
Exactly.
away from them.
I think if we look at the day 5 of Lord's Test, what happened was, whatever happened with Bairstow and then Usman Khawaja walking back, the Lord's
whole
crowd was
incident, yes.
booing the Australian cricket team. They were saying, same old Aussies, they are cheat. And then I think one or two members of MCC, they pulled Khawaja and Warner out in the Lord's long room. But after that, what happened was, Ben Stokes played a surreal innings. It was going to be one of the best knocks had he won that game for England. And then Australia came back, they won a test match. So cricket, they have been playing very good cricket.
Yes.
This Ashes has been brilliant. They have been playing brilliant cricket. They have played good cricket in both test matches. The results have come on day 5. But with this controversy, this nonsense controversy, this Bairstow dismissal row, they are actually taking the attention away from cricket. When the next text comes, Ben Stokes came out and he said that now we are going to make a comeback and win 3 tests on the trot. For that, your team needs to perform. Your bowlers need to pick wickets.
Absolutely.
You need to pick the right team. Why are you picking a James Anderson if he's not picking up wickets?
Yeah.
Just on his name.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. You're not Indian cricket. You don't pick Virat Kohli just because you're Virat Kohli.
No, but I think probably, like I said, I am a fan of their approach. I think Anderson's performance has been subpar. I think England as a total unit has been.
We'll come to performances also, but
Yeah.
before that, just to recap this whole thing, I mean, it's just been ugly.
Yes,
It has been ugly.
It has
My
been.
memory of covering the Ashes, it's probably been the ugliest Ashes series ever. I mean, don't forget what happened with Usman Khawaja and David Warner in
Yes.
the long room. 3 MCC members have been suspended pending investigation. Exchange of words, heckling. Stewards had to literally push Khwaja away from the scene of the confrontation. It was just ugly viewing.
Absolutely.
What is happening? What on earth is happening? First off, there was a major security breach.
Yes, yes.
Had it been, by the way, on an Indian ground, involving an Australian or English team, there would have been so much.
The Australian media or the English
Human
media, they would have.
Yes.
Exactly. They would
And here you have 2 protesters storming Lords, and you take so much pride in calling it the home of cricket and whatnot, and then you storm Lords with orange paint powder, and they got dangerously close to these players.
Yes.
Yes. And I think Warner
Who
had
knows what a lunatic could have done?
Warner had stated that they were not supposed to engage with these guys. They were just supposed to stand back. And he said, my only, when I talked to Stokes also, our main concern was to protect the pitch. But what about those guys?
But whatever Bairstow also carrying him off the ground like that was dangerous. I mean, anything.
Yeah, anything could have happened. He took a risk, I guess. He was like, well, I need to take a step. I think that was obviously before all this controversy
But
coming.
wasn't that a little bit gimmicky? You had Stewards
It
and
was-
security
it
guards.
was-
Yeah,
It
it was gimmicky.
I mean-
Obviously,
See, whatever Bairstow did in Lord's Test was a gimmick.
After
It
the
was
breach,
yeah.
which in itself should be embarrassing, right, for a high-profile Ashes Test match. Fine, the stewards got onto the field pretty quickly, but what was the need for Bairstow to lift him off the ground and take him away? The guards were there to do their
Yes,
job.
yes.
It was just a little perplexing. I mean,
Yeah.
you sit back and you want to laugh at some of the happenstance around English and Australian cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, be a little more professional about it. You're a cricketer. You're there to play the game, and then when you were batting, you were shoddy, you were dozy, you walked off the crease, you were stumped by off a pacer. Now, when this whole controversy is forgotten, you look at that scorecard 10 years down the line,
Yes.
and you see Bairstow, stump, carry, bowl green. That's going
yes.
to be.
But
But now coming to what you said, Bazball, has it been properly tamed by Australia, or is it in the process of being destroyed and torn to pieces?
I think it's more like how do I say it? I think Australia has played the perfect chess game here.
Yes.
They have just waited. So they've seen all of their pieces slowly going off, but they were just calm. You look at the first test. Everyone coming in, Kevin Peterson saying that, oh, Joe Root has been sensational on day 4. He has absolutely dominated the game. But what happened in the end? Australia just kept themselves calm. They knew, like, there is a weak point with this England side. They have a kryptonite that they have made it for themselves by making flat tracks. Their bowlers ended up coming under the pump. You look at an Anderson. Anderson said that the
Anderson has been crying.
test.
Broad has been, every
everybody,
pacer is crying.
everyone, every single person.
Anderson went on to say that if they make pitches like this,
I'm done.
I'm done.
But that's not the kind of pitches that Ben Stokes wants.
No.
He wants fast pitches.
Yes.
Where he thinks his batters can get bat to ball and score quick runs, and his bowlers will come into play.
But then-
now the England attack is very one-dimensional. Now I agree with what you're saying, Bazball. All that sounds exciting, and
Yeah.
the English media will keep coming up with some of these corny terms. Bazball. I'm not a huge fan of the terminologies that
Yeah.
the English media use anyway. Bazball. Almost sounds schoolboyish to use terms
Yes,
like that
yes.
in Test cricket, right? But okay, you have Bazball, but you don't have the bowlers to back it up with. Anderson, Broad, well past their prime. I mean, you can talk about their stats, you can talk about their age, you can go gaga over what they have done, but it's all in the past, right? Anderson hasn't done anything great in the last year or so. They haven't even played regularly. And on top of that, you call Moeen Ali out of retirement.
And then
Jack Leach is injured. You don't play him at Lords. You don't know whether he's going to play in Leeds. It's completely devoid of any good, decent logic. No spinners. And look at Australia, by the way. You talk about flat pitches. Both of you talking about a flat Lords pitch. They were without Nathan Lyon in the segment.
Yes.
And look at the impact that Australia still managed.
I think Bazball has backfired for this English cricket team.
Especially in this series. Especially in this series. Especially when you look at...
Because I remember on day one of this series, people were calling out Pat Cummins and Australia saying, "What is this?
Why are you being so defensive?" Yes.
They were not being. They were being defensive. But they were actually, as you pointed out, they were playing a game of chess with this English cricket team, and this English cricket team has fallen into the trap.
Yeah.
You are not here just to entertain the crowd. You need to win test matches. This is Ashes.
But you're entertaining the crowd with high run rates.
That is what I think Jeffrey Boycott rightfully said.
Yeah.
If your aim is just to entertain the fans, might as well join a circus.
So I was looking at a stat in the morning, and it said Australia have scored 20 more runs than England in 100 more overs than English batters have played, but they won 2 test matches. So what is more important, playing less overs, scoring more runs, or winning test matches?
I think
Stokes can come out and say whatever he wants to say. We will make a comeback, but he should remember in last 73 Ashes series, there has been only one time when a team has come back after losing first 2 test matches.
You have to give credit where due to England. Look at the way they took on the Birmingham Test against India, exactly a year back, by the way. They won, chasing a high density total. They came to Pakistan, beat them 3-0, but again on flat pitches that suited the needs, and Pakistan is a rubbish test team anyway.
Absolutely.
Words. You were found out against Australia, and it was expected to happen. But to this level, now with so much talk around Bazball, around the schoolboyish term that they have come up with, now they're under pressure.
Yeah.
Now they can't back away. A. B. I don't think a couple of the players even know how to back away, because Ben Duckett, for instance, probably knows only that. That approach. What the explanation that he gave after getting out for 98 was bizarre. He said, "No, I got out trying to play the shot that I naturally play, so I have no regrets." It's not about you missing your 100. It's about giving your wicket away at a stage where you should have probably, pushed yourself to score a few more.
You are the best batter for your team in that innings.
Exactly. So you should have tried to push that a little further. It's not about you getting out on 98 and looking cool and saying that, what, I'm happy I got out. I'm not happy to ever get out, but I'm happy if I had to get out, I had to get out of that shot. Rubbish. Like a lot of cricketers will tell you, there's no natural game per se. You play according to the needs of the team.
Yeah.
Yes, you will back your instincts. Virendra Sehwag, for instance, backed his instincts, but then you also had that kind of batting lineup. You had Dwivedi, you had Sachin Tendulkar, you had Ganguly, you had Lakshman, you had Dhoni. So you had that kind of depth. England do not. England do not. Ollie Pope. How consistent has he been? Zach Crawley, he gets you those aggressive starts. But again, how consistent has he been? Your main fulcrum is Joe Root.
Yes.
And now Joe Root is also under pressure to play that kind of cricket. You're playing ramp shots, you're playing this, you're playing that. Joe Root taking that extra risk is not going to work for you in your advantage.
Yes.
Forget Bazball, trash that term. Think of winning test matches. You don't have the bowlers to back it up with.
Joe Root, absolutely. Joe Root playing ramp shots in a test match. That is absolutely nonsense. You are Joe Root. You have been one of the best test batters in last 10 years.
See, I wouldn't...
You play the game in a different way. You are a traditional proper cricket book batter. What are you doing?
Saurabh, like I said, it's like I am a fan of it. I see it. It's pure entertainment. It's just pure entertainment. I think one of the best things to characterize Bazball is like, if you look at it in the movie perspective, it's like Bazball is like Hulk. And you need Hulk to be a little more smarter. And that is what everybody is demanding right now.
So you mean Bazball needs to... They need to play Bazball with a more pragmatic...
Yes, because it's like everybody is saying right now, yes, you are trying to entertain. Good. But when the situations are down, you need to have...
In England's defense, they have stuck to their batting.
Yes, they have stuck to their methods, yes.
You could argue that it hasn't come off in the first 2 test matches. You could also argue you don't have the bowling resources to deliver consistently on the flat pitches that they have got. But how do you back off? Now, once you have started playing cricket this aggressively, like Australia, for instance, they dominated throughout the noughties with higher run rates, by the way. Australia will come and tell you, what you're trying to show us Bazball, we'll tell you what this is all about.
Yeah.
We're the ones who started this, for God's sake.
Exactly.
Matthew Hayden, Justin Langer, Ricky Ponting, Adam Gilchrist. It was crazy, that lineup.
Yes.
Deadly
and then
lineup.
you had Glenn McGrath, Shane Warne, Jason Gillespie, Brett Lee, Michael Kastrovic to take that kind of assault on as a bowling unit as well.
Exactly.
Now, can Australia back off? Now, Australia, by the way, they wanted to play aggressive cricket. They wanted to be ruthless. But when they needed to, they also knew they had the guys who could dig in deep, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You had AB de Villiers and Faf du Plessis, two extremely hard-hitting batters. I don't think England has any of them.
Yes.
Nobody from that England lineup has that kind of capability. Joe Root aside is a world class. He's one of the greatest in Test cricket. But even when the need arose, du Plessis and de Villiers dropped anchor. I mean, that is the kind of Test team that you need. You
Yes.
can't go out and
Yes.
say that, you know what, we're going to go slam bang. And
Exactly.
what is your plan B?
I think this Bazball approach has been found out.
Have they put the pressure on themselves?
Yeah, they have put pressure. There is no plan B.
There is no
They play
plan B.
one-dimensional cricket. Your batters will go out, they will hit hard, they will score runs at a faster rate, but you don't have the bowlers to pick up wickets. And in any Test match, you need bowlers who can pick up 20 wickets.
Yes.
Your bowlers, they are not picking up 10 wickets every innings.
Yeah.
How are you going to win a Test match?
It'll be fascinating to see what Bazball does in India. If they still resort to Bazball. If they lose the Ashes 5-0, they'll say, you know what, we are here to win Test cricket. This model didn't work. We'll look at some other model.
No, but that is again, that comes... The model has delivered success, right? You look at their
But
stats.
what success?
It's 11 out of 15 tests that
But
they've
again,
won.
against
They've won.
Teams, look, okay, let's be frank in our assessment. How many good Test teams are there in the world now? Australia, England,
Yeah.
India. But after that, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, would you really categorize them as good Test teams? West Indies?
No, I believe
Bangladesh?
like
Afghanistan?
like probably Bazball's biggest test is the Ashes. If they fail here,
Exactly.
then they would...
This is one of the biggest tests.
Biggest-
because they have
it
not
is
played
the
in
biggest
India.
test.
This is their biggest test as of now.
As of now, it is their biggest test.
And
Now,
they're failing it.
coming back from 2-0 down, and Australia do not have their main guy in Nathan Lyon. He's gone under
They have got
he's,
Todd Murphy. He can come and pick up wickets.
Yeah.
You never know.
But you never know.
But who do England have?
who that is the exact
Moeen Ali.
Moeen Ali, who's been brought in and then kicked out.
With all due respect, he really put India on a lot of spin.
But
So
that is India, right? Our batters.
Our batters can't play.
You're supposed to be the best players of spin in the world.
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, on paper.
Why not?
on paper. On paper, there are a lot of
It doesn't
lot of
happen on
good
the
things.
ground.
So what will India do in the West Indies now? That's the other
Yes.
thing we should be looking at from an Indian context. I mean, you're talking about Indian batters being good on paper. You've dropped one of them. He's preparing for the Duleep Trophy, Cheteshwar Pujara.
Yeah.
Are the others, I mean, we discussed that last week as well, but should the others be a little nervous?
They should be. I think whatever happened with Pujara and the kind of performance our top order has been giving in last 2-3 years, they should be worried about their places in the team. Guys like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. Rahane was dropped, he came back, he scored some runs in the WTC final, he has been named the vice captain. But what about these two? They have been failing. You have brought new guys. You have brought, I think, Rituraj Gaikwad and Yashasvi Jaiswal. One of them is going to make a debut.
Yeah.
So if they perform, then you will be seeing KL Rahul coming back from injury, Rishabh Pant coming back from injury, Shreyas Iyer coming back from injury. So these guys need to worry about their places. They should be scared.
What can India hope to achieve in the West Indies? I mean,
I think from my
fine, they
perspective,
should be
it
scared,
would
But what can they achieve?
it would be to find 2 11s. One would be obviously getting ready for the World Cup that is coming in. I think Indian fans are getting mentally prepared for another disappointment, but let's just keep that aside.
You're harsh.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
it.
India will win the World Cup.
No. I don't know. I'm personally keeping my hopes down because after seeing every single time going to the WTC final twice, going to every single event to the penultimate stage and just falling down there, that is like it's been like, okay, I have just decided that no, let's not get my hopes up. But for this series specifically, I think it's about setting 2 teams. One would be the test side that is going to be your main core test side for the coming years, for at least this cycle.
But I think you have the same batters.
You
No,
have the
but-
same batters, you have
Same
the same
bowler.
structure, you have Rohit Sharma.
But I think this is the time, like you're
You know what?
like you said.
I'm afraid of something. See, I was looking at some stats, and we have not lost a Test series against West Indies in last 20 years. I'm not saying that we lose this series, but you never know what is going to happen.
And No, I don't think they will. I mean,
We
if that happens-
No, we're not going to lose.
It is. I like you said, the stats might be saying that, but yeah, we might not lose this thing
You know,
because
it's a whole bizarre approach towards Indian Test selection now.
yeah,
I mean, not just the Test selection, the other formats.
The
that we'll talk in due course.
entire selection.
We spoke about it last week on the Sledging Room, and Saurav Ganguly came out and said the same thing in an interview. He said, I don't understand the move behind appointing Ajinkya Rahane
Yes.
as vice captain. That's exactly what we were talking about last week. Wouldn't you rather have a younger guy as vice captain being groomed for
yeah,
the
Future,
captaincy
yeah.
role in the future? You don't have Rishabh Pant in the side right now. KL Rahul is out of favor. Anyway, recovering from an injury. And, Shubman Gill is kind of asserting himself.
Yeah.
And you don't go to Shubman Gill. You go to Ajinkya Rahane, who was, like we said, dropped from the test team, got into the side only because Shreyas Iyer had an injury.
yeah,
Had Shreyas Iyer been fit, had he played, there would have been no Rahane.
yeah.
So, I mean, ask, see what you want to achieve in the West Indies. Want to see some kind of consistency with the team.
Yeah, I think that was the
Will
key
this team
word.
take you through to the WTC, throughout the circle of the WTC?
No,
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't think that's
no,
going to happen.
that is not going to happen.
Might. I mean, this answer may not come to you from the West Indies.
Yeah,
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think
yes.
it can start answering
Yes.
that question. This tour can start answering this question, and probably by the time you're done with the South African tour, early 2024, that's when you'll have a clearer picture.
yeah,
Yes.
And I think a lot of Rohit Sharma's future will also depend on how India do in Test cricket throughout the next 6-7 months, and obviously that ODI World Cup. That is going to be crucial for a lot of names. Let's not mince words.
No.
There will be, heads will roll. It's just about 3 months away from now, October 8th.
October 8th.
Less than.
Less than 3 months.
yeah.
So you will see just about 3.5 months to go, but you'll see some sort of decisions that might need to be taken
Yeah.
if India don't do well in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I hope they do. I hope they win the World Cup.
We
I
all
hope there's
want
a-
India to win the World Cup.
Against the West Indies team, by the way, now, since we're talking about the West Indies, they haven't qualified for the ODI World Cup. West Indies champions in 75, champions in 79, finalists in 1983, semi-finalists in 1996. West Indies won 2 T20 World Cups. Didn't qualify for the T20 World Cup last year, haven't qualified for the ODI World Cup now.
This is the lowest West Indies cricket name.
And this is a West Indies team that India is going on to take
Yes.
months before the World Cup.
World
This
Cup.
is how they're starting their World Cup preparation. I mean, it's sad, right? It's not shocking. It's not shocking.
It's not shocking.
It is not.
It was
shocking,
coming.
yeah.
It was coming.
It was
There was-
slowly.
yeah, the
Because
way,
when I look at that team, I'm thinking like, okay, this Jason Holder. Okay, I'll replace Jason Holder. But then I look at the whole thing and I'm
you
like,
have to replace
who?
You have to replace the
Who
whole
do
team,
you
but you
replace?
don't have replacements.
Who do you replace a guy like Jason Holder who's very, very average? I think his bowling was there for one season where he did some death bowling in the IPL and that was it. He was being found out. How could you concede 30 runs? No disrespect to Netherlands. I think Netherlands played the game well. But how? How do you concede 30 runs against a guy like Logan Van Beek? That was the perfect thing. A guy like Alsari Joseph is there. The decision making, the talent that is available. I was scratching my head. I was thinking, okay, I'll just check out on the CPL thing. Who is probably a guy that they could bank upon? Who could they bring in to the into the West Indies team? It's all guys who have some kind of dispute with the West.
Exactly. They either have disputes. They
Exactly.
They don't want to play for
Look
the
at what
team.
Shea Hope said. He said, this is what he referred to was this is the most structural issue. But my concern with West Indies cricket is that maybe the country, those islands are not as concerned themselves. They look at lucrative NBA careers. They look at lucrative
Yes.
basketball careers. Do enough young, talented athletes want to come and take up cricket as a professional sport? I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, that is
And
also
that's
major.
what's resulting in that quality. Look at some of the West Indies stars in the IPL and the BPL and the BBL, and you'd be like, wow, these guys are serious talent. And you look at the Test team, you look at the ODI team, and you're left wondering.
Yes.
I think, like you said, guys like Chris Gayle, IPL legend, Andre Russell, IPL legend, Sunil Narayan, IPL legend. That's it. Like you are wondering, oh my God, you combine all these guys into the West Indies team, and they're like a solid team. And then what do you see? You don't see anything there. It is a mixture of what the board has done for a long period of time, what the whole thing in terms of decision making is happening. And even when you look at the body language of these guys, like a Ravman Powell, probably an Alsari Joseph, again I come back to him because I like him as a bowler, but he himself feels like, yeah, I'm done with this, I don't want to do this anymore. Even their coach, the newly appointed coach, Darren Sammy, being a very truthful person, comes out and says, yeah, my team is the worst fielding outfit in the competition.
He actually looked like the most hopeless coach I've ever seen in history of cricket.
Exactly. So where
you pinned so much hope on Darren Sammy. Poor guy. He's just coming. He's just coming to the system.
No, but
what is he going to do? He can't redo.
But why do you make statements like that? Why are you going out and saying, yeah, my team is the worst fielding outfit in the competition that has Nepal? You have Nepal, you have Zimbabwe, you have got Scotland, Ireland, associate nations. So are you saying that you are worse than an associate nation?
At least Sri Lanka have qualified. There was a threat a month back. You would have said, look, could there be a situation where both Sri Lanka and West Indies are not coming to the ODI World Cup? Sri Lanka, by the way, look at that bowling lineup.
Brilliant.
Look dangerous,
absolutely.
Especially in Indian conditions. Matish Thikshana, my goodness.
Thikshana, I think they have slowly...
Even without Shamila, this bowling lineup was
the way
Sri
Lankan spinners have performed.
Yeah.
They are going to be a major threat to a lot of
in
teams.
Indian conditions.
And I will point out, majorly to a team like India.
Yes.
There are a lot of teams, by the way, who's from England, they come against good quality spin. And now you look at teams like Sri Lanka and Afghanistan with dangerous spin bowling lineups, right? One or two upset there. You never know what that could do to the top.
Yeah, if only their batter back their bowlers, then you might see a lot of.
The general consensus is England, Australia, India, Pakistan, the top four. A few upsets down the line here and there. You never know.
Yeah.
You never really know. But again, like I said, cricket, 2 months, 3 months, that's a long, long time in international sport. A lot can happen between now and the World Cup. You have the tour of the West Indies. You have the Asia Cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which will probably be the final dress rehearsal for a lot of the Asian teams. India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. You will get a clearer picture as time rushes past. I mean, we're hurtling towards the World Cup. The World Cup schedule was obviously released last week. India versus Pakistan on the 15th of October. India starting the campaign when? On the 8th of October.
8th of October.
So the World Cup starts on the 5th of October. So it's all here really. We're in July.
Yeah.
And 3 months down the line, you'll be starting off with the World Cup. Hopefully for Indian fans, by then Asia Cup champions, Asian Games champions, hopefully.
Too much to hope for.
Too much to hope for.
And a treble, that could be a treble, right? Asia Cup, Asian Games and the World Cup.
Only if we can.
Wow.
That would be a great treble, but let's see. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Talking of distant dreams, but why not, right? Whatever we do at the end of the day, we're fans. We're fans, deep-rooted fans, and we want Indian cricket to do well. And if they don't, we will hold the players and the powers that be accountable and ask the tough questions on the Sledging Room. But that'll be that for this latest episode of the Sledging Room. We'll come back with a lot more. Akshay Ramesh, meanwhile, celebrating some time off in Chennai.
Yeah.
Right? He took so many U-turns, I often thought.
U-turn expert.
He took a lot of these U-turns and he went from Noida to Chennai. He drove there.
Oh.
Yeah. And he only took U-turns.
I hope he reached on time. Because the number of U-turns he
missed his flight and then he had to drive.
Okay.
Spilled some coffee on the way. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Sledging Room. We'll be back with a lot more, of course. And you know what to do. If you want to reach out to us, you can always email us on pods@indiatoday.com and ping us on 8588966996. And if you're obviously consuming the Sledging Room on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, when you flash through your phones, look at Sledging Room and leave in your comments and tell us what you think of this whole farce over the Bairstow stumping. We're calling it England cricket's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. This is what it is. Yes. And this is what you get on the Sledging Room. Thank you so much and have a great week ahead.